Everyone, we welcome you to this edition of News You Can Use at TV 56. I'm Thera Martin Milling, glad to be with you again. And today on our program, we're going to do two very important things. In our first segment, we're going to shine the spotlight on the Sultan Jahad Ahmed Community Foundation. Mrs. Harriet Ahmed is here and her beautiful daughter Kemah Ahmed is here. And then when we turn the page on News You Can Use, we'll be joined by Mr. Trent Pettis, and he is an expert in the housing arena. He's going to talk to us about what's going on with housing foreclosures, when's a good time to buy, when's a good time to sell a house. So you want to stay along for this edition of News You Can Use. We'll be right back. Hello again, everybody. We're so glad you're able to join us for this edition of News You Can Use. Again, I'm your host, Thera Martin Milling. Glad to be back at LaSalle TV one more time. And we're joined right now by Harriet Ahmed, my dear friend. I'm glad you're here, and your beautiful daughter, who is also my friend, Kemah Ahmed. Thank you all for coming.
Thanks for having us, Thera. How are you?
I am good today. I'm just thanking God for another day of life. And when I think about your organization, the Sultan Jahad Ahmed Community Foundation, of course, I always think about your husband, Sultan Ahmed, because his name is in the name of the organization. But of course, the organization was born out of the unfortunate loss of life of your son, Sultan Ahmed Jr.
Sultan Jahad Ahmed. It's no junior on his name. It's Sultan Jahad Ahmed, and that's the name of the foundation. So it happened, you know, Sultan was named after his dad. So, yes.
Well, now, your organization has been in existence for how long, and tell us how it got started.
Well, our organization has been in existence for 20 years. Unfortunately, because of my son was murdered in 1993 on his way home from school. And, I mean, we could have, you know, went out and hurt somebody like they hurt us. But instead, we decided, you know, to give back, to help other families and youth that may be going through it, to give them a vineyard where they can go. And, you know, that was how that came about. So we've been in existence for 20 years now.
And that has made me admire you and your husband 20,000 times more than I already did, because I knew your husband first.
Right.
Because he was like the man about town. He helped W. Wilson Good to run his administration. Your husband was the head of the Mayor's Office of Community Services for many years. And when he was the head of Mox was everywhere, doing so much. And I always just looked up to him and just admired him. And he didn't know it, but I adopted him as my big brother. and so it was just good to know him. And then in later years, he went on to the Philadelphia Parking Authority, where he served distinguishedly until he retired. But he didn't really retire, because he came over there with you and with your daughter and with your younger son, and you all are operating this nonprofit in the heart of North Philadelphia, and you're making a difference every day. And I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it with my own two eyes. Now, I didn't know how deep it was till, you know, me being in there working with the ladies with GED classes in the last few months, and seeing how people from the neighborhood come to your door. We're hungry.
I
you
know.
don't have any food.
I know. Isn't that like
And you get them food.
Yeah, we do have a food cupboard there. You know, we give the food out. Once it comes in, we give it out. It's right out the door. So, and we run out of it quickly. I mean, because there are a lot of people that are hungry in the city of Philadelphia.
One grandmother that I talked to a few weeks ago when I was there, and she begged. She walked in, and it wasn't the day you give out food. And she said, I have nothing. I've got 4 grandchildren to feed. I'm raising them. And there's nothing in my cabinet right now. Nothing. She said, there's nothing. And her eyes were glassy, like she was getting ready to tear up. So I'm getting ready to tear up. Kemah, you had just had your baby, so you weren't there. And your mom had went to handle some other business. You all know I'm not there to do the food program, but I answered the door because Mr. Ahmed was busy in the back. And so now I'm getting ready to cry. The lady's getting ready to cry. This wasn't the day to give food, but I went to the back. I spoke with your husband, and he called you. And the next thing I know, he was handing me a bag of food to give this lady to hold her over just one day. And she said on her way out, it's that food stamps are cut, everything is cut, all the money that she used to get from the Department of Public Welfare is cut. People are hungry.
Yeah, people are hungry, but they didn't come out to oppose all that cut either. So
by voting?
By voting or participating or understanding what was going to happen, how it was going to happen, when it was going to happen. I mean, you had some politicians around the city that had some rallies in reference to that, some petitions going around. I guess it wasn't enough.
But when you get to the rallies, there's 3 people or there's 20 people when there should be 500 people to protest and say,
I mean, really
hey,
5,000.
Really?
Because I don't know the amount of people that's on public assistance, but I know it's more than 500. So everybody that received it should have been out there, as far as I'm concerned.
So again, the Sultan Jihad Ahmed Community Foundation was founded after the unfortunate loss of your son. You and your husband, God gave you some strength out of His way, to fortify you all so you could do this and not be bitter or angry, but to reach back and say, we want to help children. So when you first started, if my memory serves me correctly, you were addressing young people's issues, and you all were raising scholarship monies so the kids graduating from high school had a little piece of money to work with.
Right, to go to college. It was children that, AB students always receive money, grants and all that. Then you have those kids that's like CDs, don't receive any type of fundings to go to college. So that was our focus for those children there that was on their way to college. And we did that maybe, 17 years or so? So 17 years, raised money, banquets, and we stopped the banquets. Then we started doing the golf tournaments. Unfortunately,
it's golfing for kids, wasn't that what it was?
Swing for kids.
Yeah, swing for kids. But we had stopped giving out the money because we wanted to focus on the building that we have, the old OIC at 1901 15 West Oxford Street.
Which used to be a jailhouse first, a City of Philadelphia jailhouse. Reverend Leon Sullivan, the Lion of Zion Baptist Church, got the building, and then it was an OIC building for years. And since then, essentially, it's been closed, and it was donated to Sultan Ahmed Foundation, or?
Well, it's in the works. That's all I can say. It's in the works. But we still need quite a few dollars to get it renovated.
Yes. It's a beautiful building. It's a big building.
It's a huge building. Thank God we were able to put the roof on. Install 72 brand new windows. That's a lot of windows. And had the outside of the building cleaned, the pavement redone, and some trees put up there, but we can't get in there yet because we still need some more money.
Got to raise money. So fundraising is an always kind of thing. The other thing that I love about your family and your organization is that you all are smart enough to understand that you can't always depend on Blue Cross Blue Shield or Comcast, we love you Comcast, or Bank of America or United Bank or whomever it is that your funders may have been in the past or maybe currently. You're smart enough to understand that as a nonprofit, you still got to raise your own money too to make things happen.
I mean, it's a fact. In any type of nonprofit business, you have to try to find other funding sources, raising money. So if anybody out there would like to contribute or help with a fundraiser, we're open for ideas.
I know you all have some beautiful calendars right now that you all are utilizing as one of your fundraisers for your Youth Leadership Council, and so they're doing that.
The Youth Leadership Councils deal with high school students from the ages of 15 to 17. Boys and girls. It's an after-school program that runs on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So the children they come there and do some activities. We have radio and TV broadcasting that's hosted by Thera. Then we have virtual travel that you travel everywhere without leaving your seat. And we have a group of a guy that comes in. He does like a rap session just to give you some updated things that what's going on in rap field and how you don't have to use the cursing to make a record. You can just use some street education or your house education and make you a good rap. And basically, we have another guy that comes and he does some historical things because he has been in existence. He has walked with Dr. King. So he talks about all his revolution.
Kim Salam, is that who we're
Yes,
talking about?
yes.
Right.
So
I love it.
he's walked with
Okay.
some of the best of
Okay.
the best. So, you
Yes.
know, he comes in and he speaks to the children, you know, about some of the things, how they fought, but how fighting nowadays is not the same.
Right, right.
You know, so, and then, you know, they have a little lunch, snack. So the children enjoy it. We started off with maybe 4 students, and right now we have about 13, 14
Yeah,
students.
yeah.
So,
And then you have
know.
your Women's Center. You're teaching women how to read, how to write, math, science. Also, they can get ready to take their GED.
That's correct, dear. We do that every Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Everyone is welcome, you're 16 on up. So, you know, if
Fantastic.
anybody interested in it, can definitely give us a call.
Give us the number.
215-787-0858 or 215-787-0857. Even you can ask for myself, Kema Ahmed, or Harriet Ahmed, and someone will be glad to help you.
Fantastic. I'm so proud of your family, and I thank God for you all being in my life, and you've lifted me up. Know that you all have lifted me up many times over the years, maybe even when you didn't know it. And I appreciate you. We love you. And your website, real quick, because we got to go.
SJA Fund.
Website, baby.
Oh,
Sultan Jihad Ahmed Foundation.org.
There we go. We got it. And
Thank you.
congratulations, new mother. You look beautiful.
Thank
you look
you.
beautiful. All right,
Thank
I
you,
love
dear.
you.
Love you too.
Okay. All right, we're going to come back in a moment and find out what is going on in the housing market. Trent Pettis will join us.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. Fact is, if you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills 1 person every hour. 1 in 5 Americans is likely to develop a form of skin cancer during their lifetime. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. It could be the save of a lifetime. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
At what age is the color that your skin was meant to be no longer beautiful? Every year, millions of young women try to change the skin they were born with and say they die for darker skin. Sadly, some actually do. Melanoma is the second most common cancer in teens and young adults 15 to 29. And 1 person dies from melanoma every hour. It's time. Change your thinking, not your skin. Stop tanning. Learn more at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back for the second segment of News You Can Use. Trent Pettis joins us, and thank you for coming again.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right. Now, for those who do not know, you are what I call a housing information guru. From how to sell to how to buy to when's the best time to do either of those actions, to even talking about the foreclosures that continue not just here in Philadelphia, but across the nation where people are losing their homes. So you tell me, where do you want to start?
Well, no, you mentioned foreclosures. Let's just start there. I mean, the foreclosure rate nationally has gone down, and we're watching it, which is a good thing. Pennsylvania, the rate has gone up. And part of the reason, a lot of experts would say, is because the state's program, the state has a program called the Homeowners Emergency Mortgage Assistance Program. HEMAP, that is funded through the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. July of 2011, that was discontinued. The state legislature just started to decide to defund the program, and they just funded it again as of August of this year. So it was a year.
Everybody who needs that.
Absolutely. So for a year, I mean, that's a program that's been in existence for over 20 years, helped almost 500,000 people save their homes. So now that the program is back in place, we'll probably see the rates go down a little bit, but we did see the rates in Pennsylvania go up. But I think that things are just getting better. And well, let me back up. Part of the reason also is because the unemployment rate. A lot of people have lost their jobs. People have medical conditions. They have medical expenses, and so they're paying bills in lieu of paying their mortgages, and so they're finding themselves in these dire situations. But I think that after the election, and I think a lot of it has to do with, I think the housing market is the engine by way to jumpstart the economy. If Congress needs the act. And because Congress has not done much because they didn't want to help the economy for whatever reason, I think we've just, it's just been kind of it's just been stale. And I think after the election, I think in January, when Congress gets back to work, I think they're going to have to take up some legislation that's going to jumpstart the economy, especially helping first-time home buyers get off the fence, because people are afraid to buy. They're afraid to buy because they don't know if they're going to have a job tomorrow. They don't know if their hours will be cut tomorrow. So even if for those folks who are in a position to buy and who are credit worthy, they still have decided to stay on the fence because they don't know what's going to happen, even though this is a great time to buy.
Well, now, I'm a little bit older than you, and I was brought up under the mindset that the best thing in the world you can do is to own your own home, own your own property, have property. And if you can have more than one property, the better yet. And so here I am trying to hold on to a property, even as we sit here at LaSalle University, and so far things are going well, thank you, Lord. But in some cases, people like you are perhaps advising folks to sell and to rent and just not have to be bothered with the problems that a homeowner would have?
Let me just say, this is not a great time to sell. I would advise a person not to sell unless they had to sell. And unfortunately, I come across a lot of people who have to sell because they can't afford to make the monthly mortgage payments. It is better to sell the house and walk away with a little bit of money or no money at all and kind of somewhat save your credit and go into an apartment maybe for a year or two and come back into the market than to lose your house to a foreclosure. It is a tough thing. And now we see a lot of short sales. In my business, my practice, we see a lot of short sales.
What's a short sale mean?
A short sale basically is the bank is accepting less than what is owed to them. Let's say, for example, you owe the bank $100,000. You still owe $100,000 on your mortgage, and the house is only worth $75,000. So a buyer's only willing to give you $75,000. Well, the bank says, I will take the $75,000 and write off the $25,000. Now, until the end of this year, if the bank writes off that $25,000, at one point you used to have to pay taxes on what the bank wrote off. The IRS came and said they looked at it as earned income, so they would say you pay taxes on 25. There's a law in place right now that ends at the end of this year. I'm sure Congress will renew it, but it will extend it. But right now, at least you don't have to pay taxes. So that's what a short sale is. So it enables the the seller to move on. And it also is a little bit, it gives them a little bit more dignity because you're still selling the house, even though you're not losing in a foreclosure action. So you're selling it and you're walking away. You're not getting any money out of the deal, but you're kind of walking away with a little bit of dignity, I think.
Okay. Now, for first-time homeowners, and sometimes even for people like me who've now owned a couple of homes, I still don't know everything that I feel like I need to know about being a homeowner and how you can get cheated or whatever, like with insurance for your
mortgage
roof
insurance.
and all that kind of stuff.
The homeowner's insurance.
And so for years, under the mortgage I had, I never worried about, well, I can go pick my own insurance company. I just accepted the one that came with my mortgage because I didn't know better. And then somebody looked at my paperwork one day who does that kind of stuff, and they said, "You're really being cheated. You can get a much better deal with insurance for your home, for emergencies and stuff with your home than what you have through your mortgage company." And you got to remember, Thera, they don't really care about you. This person told me. And when I looked at the pricing, I said, "Oh, I think you're right." So, like, is there like classes? You do classes to teach people about stuff like that?
We do first-time home buyer workshops, we do credit workshops, we do workshops for investors, how you invest in real estate. But I think if you're talking about the insurance, and if you're looking at homeowners insurance, you should shop around. You should.
I never did that.
And that's one of the reasons we do the free workshops, because we try to educate people. We have a homeowners insurance person there. We have a lender there. We have a home inspection person. We cover from the start of the process to the end. And we're about education. We want smart consumers, so that you can't be taken advantage of, because we've seen that, especially with the mortgage process. I mean, we've seen that whole mortgage debacle a few years ago that really kind of collapsed the whole economy. But you have to be smart, and I think that you need an agent.
And if you're not smart, you better get an agent that's smart.
Right. And who you can trust, and not just someone who you can trust.
Make a percentage.
And because there are good ones and bad ones. I mean, like
Which
in every
brings me to the name of your business. I love it, Integrity. And I still wear my Got Integrity shirt. I get so many comments about that shirt. It's a black T-shirt, and it says "Got Integrity?" ? And people always say positive comments, or they say, "You have integrity, huh?" And I say, "Yes, I do."
Well, that's the reason for the business. I mean, we actually started 2 years ago, so we just celebrated our 2-year anniversary.
Happy anniversary!
Thank you. Business is going well,
Great.
And I wanted to call it Integrity because that's the way we do business. That's the way I've always done business. You know me, and I want people to feel comfortable and know that this is all about them. This is about, taking someone by the hand, walking them through the process, and looking out for their best interest. I never think about a commission. I'll tell anybody, a lot of my commissions I give out. I never think about it, because whatever you put out comes back to you anyhow.
And then you have those free workshops that you do from time to time throughout the year.
We do.
Your location on Germantown Avenue is so beautiful. And what I really like about it is that on the first floor, it's the very professional offices. You think you're downtown, Center City somewhere. Beautiful wood floors, by the way. And then when you go upstairs, it's a big, long, huge room where you do these free workshops, and people can sit down and learn the information that they need, so that they'll be good homeowners when they get a property.
And most of our clients are first-time home buyers. Most of our clients are first-time home buyers. Most of our clients are females, with single women with children. Probably 90% of our clients are women. And so our thing is to educate, and we want smart consumers. We want this to be a good process, a fun process. We don't want it to be complicated, because we'll handle all that stuff. You don't need to know everything, but we'll teach you as much as you need. But you can read agreements and sale, which are over 20 pages long, and you'll never understand everything in it. That's why you go to a real estate professional who cares and has integrity and does his or her business with integrity.
Trent Pettis is his name. That's my guest. He knows his stuff about real estate, and we want you to put out your phone number if people want to find out about some of these free workshops and the other things that you provide.
Our number is easy to remember. It's 215-849-1111. Always a simple number to remember. 215-849-1111.
And you have a website?
It is integrityrealestatepa.com, because we're about to open an office in Delaware. So it's integrityrealestateDA.com for the Delaware one.
Fantastic. So now is not a good time to sell properties unless you really have to. So when we say now, we're taping the show end of October. It's going to run off and on through November.
It was still that advice.
So for the rest of this year, basically, if you don't have to sell, hold on.
Right. And we see people who either have to sell for the reasons we already cited, or they're moving, or they're downsizing, for those kind of reasons. A lot of older people who decide they don't want to maintain this house, they buy either a condo or move into an apartment. Those are the kind of sellers we get. There are a lot of properties on the market, so it's actually good for buyers, because buyers can get a good deal now. But it's not a great time for a seller to sell unless he or she absolutely has to. And I usually encourage sellers to stay, you know,
Okay.
to hold on to the
Hold
property
on.
because you can probably get
If
more
you
money
can.
in the spring
All
of next
right,
year.
I'm gonna wait till the spring and we'll see
right.
what happens with that.
All
All righty,
right.
we're gonna go and take a quick visit with Dr. Donnie Patterson from Einstein Medical Center. We'll come back and Trent Pettis and I will have a chance to say goodbye. Stay with us.
Hi. Many people may know that breast cancer is among one of the most common cancers in the U.S. today. So I want to remind people that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And if you are 40 or over, you must get a mammogram every single year. If your mother, father, brother, or sister has ever had breast cancer, then you need to get a mammogram sooner. Please talk to your doctor. And for those men who have breast lumps, don't forget that men can get breast cancer as well. About 1,700 men a year get breast cancer. So don't ignore those symptoms. Talk to your doctor and insist on getting an ultrasound or a mammogram. Prevention is key. Don't be afraid to get a mammogram. It really could save your life. I'm Dr. Donnie, and I wish you the best of health. And if you can't be the best, you can be better. Follow me on Twitter at drdonnie.com, DRDONEE. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Donnie, so very much, and we appreciate having her as a part of the show. In fact, on our next program, Dr. Donnie will join me in a full segment so we can really talk about some of these other health issues that perhaps we've only been able to gloss over a little bit. But certainly the month of October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it's HIV/AIDS Awareness Month. So October carries a lot of different responsibilities. Real quick before we go, can you say a word to encourage people to vote?
I think voting is the most important thing that you can do. I've never missed an election since I was 18 years old. I'm in my 40s. I've never missed an election, and I never plan on it. This is a crucial election, and I just hope everyone
Yes.
will go on November 6th, Tuesday, November 6th, and vote. It's so important that you do.
Vote like your life depends on it, because it does. And like Trent Pettis, I can give the same testimony. Since I turned 18, I'm now 54, and I've not missed not one election. Voting is so very important indeed. Everybody, thank you for joining in for this edition of News You Can Use. Bill Richardson, thank you for the beautiful flowers from the Rose Flower Shop. Have a great day, everyone. Hello, everyone. We welcome you to this edition of News You Can Use. I'm your host, Thera Martin Milling, and I am delighted to be back at TV 56 for another great show. Now, today on our program, in our first segment, we are shining the spotlight on State Senator Leanna Washington, and she's going to tell us all about her domestic violence awareness walk that's taking place on this Saturday, October the 27th. And we'll talk about some other issues with her as well. And then when we turn the page a little later on in the show, Dr. Donnie Patterson will join us from Einstein Medical Center for about 9 minutes or so, and she will talk about a couple of health issues that are near and dear to our heart as well that we need to be more educated about. So stay along with us. We'll be back with our first guest after this. And we're back now. Glad to be with you. And I have a smile on my face, but I think I'm trying to do that so that I don't get too sad in this segment as we talk about domestic violence awareness. Senator, so glad to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Thera. I love
here.
you too, and thank you for having me here today.
Senator Leanna M. Washington, and you have been leading the way in Pennsylvania, as far as I'm concerned, with this discussion about domestic violence awareness, and also taking the action a step further to make it action by us walking every year now in October. You put the women together and the men who would so want to support your effort, and we do a fantastic walk.
Yes, we do, and I just want to say this is going to be our 5th year in doing the walk. We do the walk on West River Drive. It's a 2.5-mile walk. Registration begins at 9. We begin walking at 10. So we ask people to come. The donation for the walk is $5. And you know, Thera, what's most important is that we use the money that we raise for the domestic violence hotline that operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And as you know, the state and the city government has had some financial situations where we had to cut a lot of programs, and we want to make sure that the domestic violence hotline operates, and so that's why every year